Chapter 29. Annika speed-dialed Isabel. She suggests we stay right where we are, said Annika. Max took a step forward and looked out at the two men in suits. Big mistake. That one step forward put her directly in a blazing shaft of sunlight. The man eyeballing the doorway nudged the man working with his phone, then he pointed straight at Max. Staying right here may not be such a great idea, she said. Come on. Max led the way back into the building. Annika followed. They reached the reception desk, where they had been granted access to the archives. Excuse me, Max said as politely as she could so she wouldn't sound panicked. Is there a back door? Why do you ask? Well, we've already seen the front door. We're both visiting Jerusalem for the first time, and we want to see as much new and interesting stuff as we can. It's like Dr. Einstein said. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. So true, said the receptionist. She pointed down a hallway. Go up this corridor, take a right. You'll be outside on the campus. The Bloomfield Science Museum is just across the lawn. Follow the footpaths. They have a fascinating exhibit about Albert Einstein. Thank you. Max grabbed Annika by the hand and practically dragged her up the hallway. Behind them, she could hear heavy footfalls followed by two brusque men speaking roughly to the receptionist. Where did those two children go? Said one. Tell us, quick, said the other. Have you gentlemen made arrangements to tour our archives? The receptionist replied calmly. No, we're simply looking for those two missing children. Gentlemen, this is an institute of higher learning, the Hebrew University. The only children we allow in here are college freshmen. The voices faded. Max was pretty sure the receptionist, who seemed to be a pretty tough cookie, would call the police if the two men persisted in barging into the building. Max and Annika raced out an exit that took them into what looked like a small pocket park, a lawn dotted with shade trees and slender evergreens. The museum's over there, said Annika, who had Google mapped a walking, or running, route to their destination, because it was, of course, the logical thing to do. We should be there in 6 minutes. 5 if we run like our lives depend on it, said Max, breathing hard. Do they? Panted Annika. Yes, I think so. I'm 99% sure those two men in the black suits are related to some of the bad guys that I met in New York City. Based on? The New York goons were wearing black suits, too. That is a logical conclusion, I suppose, said Annika, although it may not be wise to harbor prejudices based on suit colors. Trust me on this one, Annika. Of course. Annika picked up her pace and led the way. They were running down a tree-lined cobblestone path that took them to a street. There's the museum, said Max. Text Isabel. Tell her to meet us there. On it. Annika's thumbs danced across the glass screen on her phone while she jogged up the winding road ahead of Max. Annika was an awesome multitasker. Isabel texted back, Annika reported. She'll be here in 10 minutes. Good. Max chanced to look over her shoulder. She didn't like what she saw. 100 yards behind them, the two men in black suits were rounding a bend, pointing at the two girls who had foolishly paused to catch their breath on the terrace outside the Science Museum's main entrance. What's inside? Max asked Annika. Annika consulted her phone again. Child-friendly, hands-on exhibitions, she read from her search results. So there will be lots of little kids? A logical assumption, said Annika, especially next or near the blue block station, a large area to play, build, and experiment with huge blue blocks in various shapes and sizes. Let's go, said Max. If there's a bunch of kids, there'll also be a bunch of parents. The men in black suits won't dare make a move on us in front of so many witnesses. And that's how Max and Annika ended up leading a group of museum-going kids in the 10-minute construction of a twisting, spiraling DNA model made entirely of interlocking giant blue blocks.